I want to get this going where I want to have T-Bob's back for a second. As if you didn't see it yesterday, Brandon Walker on his show decided to call T-Bob out for putting in the group chat that Jay Johnson is the best head coach in college baseball. And I'm with you, T-Bob, obviously. Am I biased? Yeah, I'm biased. I have an LSU shirt on right now. I'm on an LSU-centered podcast. Of course I'm biased. But I really think, and I understand that it's a national debate, and there are probably a lot of people that have Brandon Walker's point of view of Tony Vitello being the best in the country. And I think there's a real argument. I think what Tony Vitello has done at Tennessee. Do what?
I have the clip if you want it.
Yeah, run it. Run the clip.
Oh, what the what was that?
That was a really good impression.
You said in the group, Jay Johnson's the best coach in college baseball. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
He went to multiple College World Series at Arizona. He was 1 out away from winning a natty there. He won a natty
That's
second
right.
year at LSU. He's back at Omaha this year. He's going to win a natty.
Oh, 2 years ago at LSU, he just went out and bought Paul Skeens. Yeah, I could do that. Anybody can do that. He went out and bought Tommy White, Paul Skeens, and won a national title. Yay. He's not as good as Tony Vitello. Tony Vitello built an entire program.
Well,
He goes to LSU. LSU gives him the most money in the world. Says go out and buy the players. He goes out and buy the players. He's not a better coach than Tony Vitello.
so what if he wins another natty this year? He's been in more
Good
College
for
World
him.
Series than
Good-
Tony Vitello.
Good for him, I guess. I don't think he's better than Tony Vitello.
God, I can't. Are my headphones working?
Probably not. If
I can't. It sounds like you have Vitello's cock jammed in your throat.
Brandon's like legitimately pissed after he said that, which was a great play. But look, I think that there is a very
fit in well there.
Yeah, there's a very valid argument on both ends. Like the argument that Tony Vitello, what he's done at Tennessee is obviously impressive. This is a baseball program that was not what they are before Tony V. He got here. He has built that program. As much as you can hate them, because I do. I hate the program. I hate the way that they run things. I hate the way that they act. All of those things. They're a good baseball program. They're consistently winning. They're consistently playing in the postseason, making the supers. They've gone to the College World Series. They've won the whole thing. There's an argument. 1,000%. He has built that program into what it is right now. But that doesn't mean you can hold the fact that LSU was a power prior to Jay Johnson getting there against him. The year before Jay got to LSU, LSU was sent out in the supers by Tennessee. And you can keep going back down the line. LSU is not what they had been over the last couple of seasons going into Paul Mainieri leaving and retiring. So, yes, Tony Vitello has grown Tennessee into the program it is today. But Jay Johnson has done the same thing. It's not like Paul Skeens was this known commodity best pitcher in the country before Jay went out and brought him to LSU. I don't understand why that is always held against Jay. He went out, he identified talent, he brought him to LSU, and then Paul got developed into the greatest pitcher I've ever laid my two eyes on since I've been breathing in air. But for some reason, because he was brought in through the transfer portal, it's held against Jay Johnson.
They act like he bought the Pittsburgh version of this guy.
Right.
No, he was a two-way player from Air Force. That was not a guarantee.
Tommy White was a bigger get out of the portal in that offseason before the season started, before Paul was, just off of known commodity. You knew Paul was going to be good. He played on the USA team with Dylan Cruz. You knew he was a special talent because he was a two-way guy at Air Force. Tommy White had just cracked like 30 home runs for NC State, broke the freshman record, whatever. Was a massive win. You knew who Tommy Tanks was. The whole country did when he went to LSU. It wasn't the same for Paul Skeens. But Paul got to LSU, decided to be a PO, and was created into the monster that he was at LSU. You cannot hold that against Jay Johnson like he didn't do it. And then the argument that he won with Paul Mainieri's players, like Dylan Cruz was recruited by Paul. Trey recruited by Paul. Go down the list. A lot of that team was recruited by Paul Mainieri.
So, but he doesn't get credit for
what
the
he's
players
doing
he developed and brought in.
on top of that.
or the guys that are Paul's
The guys that are
players.
here right now.
So I mean, like no, like Skeens is just a guy, and there's guys he bought. Right. He didn't identify the talent. He didn't help coach them up, and then he just had Paul's players too that just came in and just. So he had no part to do with any of it.
No. I mean, he went out and he bought.
That's just a very, very
the
stupid
Pirates.
argument.
He went out and bought the Pirates ace. Like everyone in the country knew what you were getting out of Paul Skeens before he got to LSU. Like it wasn't oh wait, time out. This might be the best pitcher in the country, best player in the country. The number 1 overall pick, $10 million signing bonus. Hunter Hall. Whoa. Let's not act like Tennessee isn't spending a ton of money on football, basketball, and baseball, too. Yeah, I mean, like, it's the whole country doing this.
They haven't brought in a transfer player. I mean, that's...
Jay brought in the best one. I'm sorry. It's part of the sport. It's part of the sport now. You use the transfer portal to better your program.
Sorry for being first.
And Jay Johnson has consistently number 1 portal class, number 1 high school recruiting class, number 1 high school recruiting class. It's a part of the game. I'm pretty sure Tony and Jay have the same amount of rings, right? They've both won 1. Jay wins in 23. Tony wins last year. Tony Vitello's not there right now.
He also looks like he's mean to his wife.
He does.
Jay Johnson's going to the dance.
And he
looks like he's nice to his wife.
Exactly.
But I will understand the argument that Tony has grown built the program, blah, blah, blah. So is Jay. As much as LSU was a known commodity, a known program prior to Jay getting there, we were all here in 2021. We were all here even when Jay first got here in 2022. The culture that this baseball program is built on right now in 2025, as much as it has to do with the past, and Jay has kept Skip Bertman involved and has included the history of LSU, the culture of LSU baseball right now is built by Jay Johnson. Watch the SEC tournament clip when Jay returns to the field after Milam's walk-off home run after Jay got ejected. Every single one of those guys loves their head coach. Look at Ashton Larson standing beside Jay Johnson. Ashton was supposed to thought he was going to be an everyday guy, was in a platoon, lost his spot, has been in spot play here and there, still bought in. That culture has been created by Jay Johnson. That culture was not created by LSU baseball.
Well, I would say that he almost like had the wherewithal to inherit the culture of what LSU is. Like that's part of being a good coach, knowing where you are, finding the resources, and going into the job being like, who's the guy I need to talk to?
Right.
Skip will take you under his wing if
yes.
you want it. And he did. That was the first call he made. He said it in the press. We just watched the clip.
I know. Yeah.
He's like, I talked to Skip this morning. Like, LSU, don't get it twisted. LSU baseball was a thing before Jay Johnson. It'll be a thing after Jay Johnson and 2082.
Right.
But to understand what you're walking into is also a testament to knowing what you're doing.
Yes.
And there's never been a moment in which Jay has felt like, question him all you want. Everybody does.
Yes.
Seems like he knows what he's doing.
1,000%. And on top of that, inheriting the LSU baseball culture will only do so much for you. I could go over to the LSU baseball ops facility and respect Skip's culture and respect the culture of LSU baseball before me. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do a great job and win national championships and make a College World Series every year and go to the postseason every single season. Jay has understood where he was at, taken the right steps to respect what happened before him, and has continued to build upon that and create a culture.
Nevada.
Arizona. Like, take that into account as well.
There's a reason he got the job.
And then Brandon Walker went on to double down on it on Twitter and say that if Tony Vitello was available right now, LSU would cast Jay Johnson aside to go get him.
Fucking loser, idiot, dumb.
The job was open in 2021, my friend. Tony Vitello was a known commodity at that point, and LSU hired Jay Johnson. Now
you can say resources that LSU has, right?
You can say Tony V
paid for this.
Wasn't available then. I promise you he was. because LSU is the best job in the sports, the standard of college baseball. And if LSU wanted to go get Tony Vitello, they could have went out and got Tony Vitello. But they didn't. You know why? They went out and got Jay Johnson, and they created the monster that they have right now.
And this is why.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It genuinely does not get any better than that. That is a mix of transfers. That is a mix of Paul Maneri's recruits and Jay Johnson's recruits all bought in.